Hello, everybody. It's me again. I keep popping up, don't I? Oh my goodness, how are all of you doing? I really hope you're doing great. I'm doing pretty good. It's Fuck You Friday, which means, like I said yesterday, that I put the Fuck You Friday post up, and I had a whole lot of people respond. So if you haven't responded yet, get your tush in there. Give me something let me hear what you have to vent about. So I'm just going to hang out for a second or two, see if anybody else wants to join us. I know I am broadcasting from a few different places, so we'll see who shows up, who jumps on. And in the meantime, why don't you give me a little comment? Let me know how you're doing with the challenge, how you're feeling. We are on day 5. We are at the end of the challenge, but never fear. We still have 3 more days, which are 3 of the bonus days that are going to go live again at 6 o'clock each night, my time, Eastern time. And tomorrow is going to be, oh, geez. I don't know about the in-laws, which that is tomorrow, and then we're going to have a Q&A, and then we're going to kind of just wrap everything up on Monday. So pretty exciting stuff. My favorite word, apparently. So, all right, why don't we dig in? So, to recap on yesterday, we talked about standing up or standing your ground or when to leave, which is the best to do, when you should do it, why you should do it. And, have you thought about it? Have you practiced standing up, what you're going to say, what you're going to do? Because remember, to go back to yesterday, it's going to be really hard to do something when you're in the moment. So you can say in your head that, oh, I'm not going to allow Uncle Jimmy to do this, or I'm not going to allow, Aunt Pam to I don't know, talk down to me or whatever it is. But when you're in that moment, a lot of times it's easier just to say, okay, I'll just eat my Brussels sprouts and shut up. But if you practice ahead of time, you'll be a little more prepared. Like I said, any good play, you practice your lines before you go and do it, right? Same concept. So, and did you remember that you really can leave the situation? How amazing is that? If you just stop and think about that for a second, how many of us we sit through something because we think we really have to do it because I don't know, society tells us to, because a lot of us are women and we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to seem maybe aggressive or I don't know, nasty or anything. So we just kind of sit back and not say anything at all and take it. And isn't it liberating? Isn't it empowering and fascinating to know that you can walk the hell out because you're an adult? If any of you said that with me, throw me a 1 in the comments. I'd love it. So today we're talking about love and respect. And those are, wait for it, two-way streets. God, I love my banners. Could you tell? Love and respect are two-way streets. One of the biggest things that I have always hated in my life is when somebody would always say this fucking phrase to me. Oh, but she's your mother. Yeah, exactly. She's my mother. Why doesn't she love me? Why doesn't she respect me? Why doesn't she treat me like other mothers I know treat their children? Sorry, respect isn't given. I don't care. Even when you're a small child, you still are supposed to respect that child in that proper way. You don't talk to them like an adult, how you give respect to an adult, but damn it, you still respect them. You still respect that living thing, right? Anyway, that used to drive me out of my mind. But so why wouldn't your family have love and respect for you? Okay, so let's start going through some of those. Well, first of all, they're people, after all, right? I mean, sometimes we blur the fact that, as you can see, I'm still working off my notes. Sometimes we blur the fact that they are our parents or our siblings or our spouses or whatever other title that they have. We blur that a lot of times, and especially when they're parents, because we grew up with them. We started as those small children and, have grown up into these adults. But although our mentality has changed, Theirs might not have. So, but you still are dealing with adults, but you have, oh, I'm sorry, people, but you have always been dealing with those same people, with those same attitudes and behaviors and patterns and, toxicity and everything that goes along with it. You have grown, you have changed, you have found new things, blah, blah, blah. They have not. Um, which is usually the case because they're already, you get to be that certain age, 25, 30 years old, your personality is really set in stone. So that's something to remember. They can be nasty just like any other person. Sorry, mom, but if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. If your sisters are assholes, your brother's an asshole, your uncle's an asshole, then they're assholes. It doesn't matter if they're blood. It kind of makes it sadder when they're blood, but it doesn't matter. They're still terrible people. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And another thing is, they can have health issues. I'm sorry, mental health issues, which I'm not necessarily saying is any kind of excuse for treating people the way that they do. And it's not an excuse for you to be treated the way that they treat you. Just because they have the mental illness doesn't mean you still can't walk away. You still are the leader. Oh, let me get rid of that banner. You still are the leader of your feelings, of your emotions. You're still the one in control of them. And, sorry, Uncle Freddie, but, your narcissism, your alcoholism, your whatever else it is, whatever mental illness it is, sorry, but I'm not putting up with it. There's people out there, trained people that can help you with this. So, there's people out there that can take your place in that kind of relationship dynamic. So, what are some signs of disrespect? Because I'll guarantee you, if you're anything like me, it took somebody else coming in going, "Holy shit, Lisa, your parents aren't really that good to you." Granted, I was still in my teens, but it did. It took somebody else to see what was happening from the outside to come in and say, "Holy Hannah, that is horrible. That should not be happening." Because you don't know, you're in the thick of it. You're in the weeds. You don't see that passive aggressiveness is not love, you know? So, what are some ways? Well, talking over you. Talking over you is a huge way. Criticizing, any kind of criticism, that could be very disrespectful. They don't respect your boundaries and your limits. Talked about this a few times already. Have to have boundaries, have to have limits. And what do they have to do? What do you need for them to work? You need respect. You absolutely need it. It's not going to work without it. Well, no, I guess it could work, but it won't work as well. Any kind of abuse, of course, that's total disrespect. My goodness. No love there. Physical, emotional, mental. We've gone through all of those in our previous videos in our trainings. Any sort of those abuses are, of course, disrespectful. My goodness. And they do any of those plus so much more. They do it in front of people. They do it whenever they want. If you want to criticize me and if you want to give me feedback, first of all, yes, please, I'd love it. But, you know, I know that you would do it in a manner that, you're not going to broadcast to everybody. Hey, Lisa, you're great, but if you could do this, maybe it'd be better. You're not gonna say something nasty on Facebook to other people. You're not gonna call somebody and be that way so everybody else can hear you in the background. You're just not gonna do that because you have respect for others. If other people don't do that to you, plain and simple, not respecting you. So, um, I would like to take a moment and discuss how difficult this is. And I really hope that you're taking these videos in and you know how much I care about this issue as well, because this is huge. I know when I finally realized later on that my parents were extremely toxic people, and half of my family was very toxic, and I had to get rid of them. I had to go no contact with them. That it was almost unbearable. It was very, very difficult. Most people didn't see that from the outside, because, why would you? But it truly was. It was heartbreaking and devastating. And for a very long time, there were times I couldn't call my mother, or something would happen and I knew that I couldn't call my mother, um, because I just knew the kind of person she was. Not having that love and not having that respect can be devastating, can be absolutely devastating to somebody. And damn it, I don't care how old you are. It's going to be absolutely horrible. So, it's painful to feel. And, I talked about, I think it was the first video I talked about it, where, people are in those Hallmark uh, um, movies. They're in those Hallmark movies, and people are the family's happy, and everybody's making dinner, and oh, we're laughing and we're having a good time, and we're having a few sips of wine as we do this, and the kids are playing in the background and all of that, and yeah, everybody wants that. Very few people probably have it. Um, and knowing it won't be that way, and knowing it won't be that way probably forever, is very hard to understand and very hard to finally come to terms with. But it is for the best. So I did just want to take a moment to recognize that, because I know that when I talk a lot, I kind of put a light spin on it, because what I talk about is very, very deep and very emotional, and I know that, so I always try to put that spin on it. But it's in no way for me to take away from what you were feeling and what you're going through, because I've been there. I speak of years of experience. I know this. I got you. So to get back to everything, another way for them to disrespect you, and um, why wouldn't your family have that love and respect for you, is they do have habits. Like I said, they are people after all, and they do have habits. So remember yesterday when I was talking about being a child, and you know I had a comment, from my broadcast yesterday, that going home really does feel like going back to those old ways. Yeah, it absolutely does. And it's because it triggers something in your brain. It's like a smell. When you have that smell of those daffodils and you think back to your Easters as a kid. Same thing when you go and see your parents and you hear voices and you hear maybe the same stories. Boom, you're right back to where you were as a child, of course. And parents may still see you like that. They may still see you, and they may give you that respect that they gave you as the child, that no longer is appropriate for you and no longer satisfies you as the adult that you are. So you have to pay attention to that. So, how can you break the habits? You really need to break the habits if you want to continue the relationship. And I think that's a distinction. You're always welcome to step away, but if you want to continue these relationships, then yes, you need to break these habits and these patterns, and set new healthier ones. And you have to remember too that these habits could have been formed years ago, long before you ever came into the picture. Your mother and father could be, um, passive aggressive. Uh, they they could be drunks. They could be rude. They could, I don't know, anything. And remember me saying that sometimes it takes somebody else to say something that you don't realize. Unfortunately, it's the same thing. But I know it sounds silly and I know it sounds really strange, but if you've been rude your whole life, or if you've been passive aggressive, or just very, very blunt, and nobody really has ever brought it to your attention that this is what you do, you truly may never see a problem with your behavior. Yeah, maybe you should. Maybe you should take some self-inventory. But who does? Who does until somebody says something and you go, okay, okay, and that's fine. That's okay. And maybe that's what you need to do. So, remember that that they're being that way. So how can we break these habits? Because if, like I said, if you're going to stay at the holiday, if you're going to stay in these relationships, then you need to break these habits. How do we break them? Well, one of the best ways to break them is to be assertive. Be assertive, and to be consistent. Absolutely. Assertiveness and consistency put together will uh, make your case stronger, I guess. So you don't have to be mean. You don't have to be nasty when you do it, but be assertive and like I said, be consistent in it. So, you know, you don't want you don't want Uncle Billy talking that way in front of your children, however he is. Vulgarity, uh, racism, whatever, anything completely inappropriate. You don't want him talking like that. Well, tell him that you don't want him talking like that in front of your children. And here's a secret: you don't have to give a fucking explanation. Huh? How about that? That is awesome. Because why? Say it, you're an adult. That's right. You don't have to give an explanation. Uncle Billy, stop speaking that way in front of my children. Be assertive, be consistent. If he does it again, you know what? I'm leaving. Sorry. See ya. Train them how to treat you, maybe by leading by example. I absolutely love to lead by example. I really, really do. Um, in anything that I do, I try to I try to get my husband to do yoga. Yeah, no, he's not having it. But I absolutely love yoga, and I'm in my 40s, so of course, we all have bad backs at this point, but I do yoga to help it. And I would never tell him to do something that I don't do. Because I want to lead by example. He has seen me with a hurt back, and he has seen what yoga has done for me because I'm leading by example. So of course, yes, that's a healthy thing, but so is being assertive, so is standing up for yourself, and so is saying, you know what, you want love, you want respect, I want it too. I will give it to you. So if I give it to you, this is how you should respond to me. Now, of course, you don't have to say those words, but leading by example could very well make somebody start to understand, oh, okay, I'm getting it now. Because also remember, if you've been in this relationship and you've been in these situations with your family, other people may have too. And they're responding the best way they know how. So if you respond a little bit better, you respond with that kindness and that understanding, then perhaps those cycles can begin to be broken. So another thing is, perhaps you give them consequences. I'm also a huge one of consequences, as we all should be. Again, nothing big. It doesn't have to be big, but it does have to be you taking that assertive stance. Once again, I'll keep saying that word tonight. Because, you have to be. You can't say, Uncle Billy, don't talk that way in front of my children. Uncle Billy, don't talk that way. How many times are you going to say it? No, you say it once. Second time, walk away. Take your kids and walk away and explain to him, I don't like the way your uncle is talking to you. Because doesn't that also show them respect? Again, you're leading by example. You're teaching them, you know what, kids, you may be young, but damn it, you deserve respect as well. There's nothing wrong with that. It's healthy, it's beautiful, and you're showing them love, you're showing them respect, and you're showing them that you love and respect yourself. And that is awesome for a child to see. And we all need it. And another thing is to be with your own allies. If you know that you're going to this holiday, again, if it's virtual, if you're going there in person, and you know that I don't know, things are going to come up, things might be said, they're going to piss me off, they're going to whatever they're going to do. Try to be with your kind of own kind, if you will. The kind of people that are also supportive and positive and kind of see what's going on, or something like that, because you already have, if those are your people, you already have that love and respect there. They know you, and you kind of share that bond already of what is happening in this area. So, actually, oh my goodness, can you believe that is all that I have for tonight? How exciting is that? I get to let you go on a Friday. Woo! But before I do, oh shoot, sorry, we still have workbook to go through. But oh, and I forgot to do my little banner again. Why don't you remind me? You got to put it in the comments after a while. Where's the next banner? Because they're pretty cool. So let's go through the workbook real quick. The full name of this day was, put my pen cap on so I don't blew myself up. The full title of today was remembering that love and respect are two-way streets, and nobody has to deal with one-sided relationships. And that's true for every day of your life, every relationship that you're in, um, every holiday you go to, every gathering you're at. You don't have to put up with something that's only one-sided, usually. And I'll get to a couple different outliers in a second, but let's go through it. So, despite what you were told growing up, love and respect go both ways. They do. And like I mentioned, even as children, you still show respect for that child. You just do it in a different way. Just because someone is a family member does not automatically qualify them for either. And that's huge. I remember working at a nursing home once, and a woman, I was working in the kitchen, so I couldn't really have any one-on-one with the residents. I couldn't really help them any more than feeding them, and to the point where I would just put the food on the table, and the nurses would take it from there. But I had a woman come up to me in a wheelchair, and she asked for something, and I said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And she said, well, what if I was your mother? I couldn't laugh straight at her. Really, I wanted to, because, oh, pumpkin, if you were my mother, yeah, no, you're this where you are right now, everything that's happening, way too good for her. So, but just because you're family, it really means nothing. Blood is blood. I think it's actually the other way around, to tell you the truth. I mean, if you are family, shouldn't you love and respect the other people just a little more, maybe? You know? But that's just me. Um, you've always heard the phrase that family is everything. And this is another way to keep family members tolerating the toxic behavior, right? It truly, truly is, as they always have been. It is unhealthy and unreasonable. It really is unreasonable to expect people to stay in those toxic relationships. Why? Why? Yeah, okay, fine. You wanted to have a child. You raised that child. But if you were an asshole to that child, well, you get to not see that child when they're an adult. You get to not have a decent relationship with them as an adult, because that's what happens. Sorry, I don't know. I don't have children of my own, so I don't know if the Dr. Seuss guy or whoever it is put that in what to expect when you're expecting, but you should expect it. So, like I mentioned, there are exceptions to the rule, because not all relationships are on equal ground, or two-way relationships, but there's not many, and they're kind of obvious if you think about them. I have four. You may find more. I'm sorry, I keep hitting this with my knee, and I am having earthquakes again. So the first one is professional, like a patient doctor. That relationship is not. Yes, you have respect, but it's not. You're not on equal ground. You're going to see the doctor because you're sick. You want them You want answers from them. You need something from them that they're not going to get in return from you. So it's a different relationship. It's not on equal ground. The second one is authority, cop versus criminal. That is definitely not a two-way street. Um, you know, Absolutely. Another authority is, a defendant and a judge. Any kind of authority in that way is the relationship is already on a different playing field. Another one is student, no, teacher student. Gotcha. Uh, you're on a different plane from them because again, you have that gimme, 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 uh, and the teacher is given, 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 and the student takes, but there's really no um there's not the other side of the street where you're getting everything that you gave to that student, you're going to get back in the same form. It's not that you're going to get different stuff back. I'm not saying you're not. Please don't misunderstand any of what I'm saying. You do have your my God, so much pride when you do teach kids, and but it's not the same footing. All I'm saying. And the other one is a parent and young child. I really have been pushing that tonight where, there is respect, there is love, of course. But it's not on that same footing because you're teaching your child. You have to discipline your child. You have to, I don't know. Is that really it? No, no, no. You have to feed your child. You have to care for your child in a different way. So of course that relationship is going to also be different and not on the same footing. Again, not to say that it's the wrong footing, it's just not the equal footing where as an adult, um, with your parents, with the rest of your family, where that relationship should be, very equal. So that is the workbook. So, woo, oh my goodness, I have passed my time again. I keep trying to make these shorter. I really do, guys. But thank you so much for tuning in again. I really appreciate it. I see your comments. I will get to them. I see your love signs and all that, and I thank you so much. I do also want to mention this one thing again. The special offer that I mentioned yesterday is the laser focused phone call. There's a couple of you that have already signed up, which I love it. I cannot wait to start talking to you guys about all this, hear what you have to say, and really, really help you get that laser focus that you need to go into these holidays with your specific circumstances. So again, let me know if you're interested. It's an hour-long phone call, and it's to talk about whichever family member, friend, whoever it is that's going to give you the most problems this year, or whatever situation is going to give you the most problems, and to work through together. And then to give you a plan after we hang up, give you kind of a plan of action to deal with them that we just talked about, and really have, oh, let me put my other banner up, and really give you uh, a plan of attack in a way. But I think it's going to be really good for you. It's going to give you the maybe the confidence boost you need. And it is $75 for the hour and the path. And like I said, usually an hour with me is 150, and that is just the hour. So this is a special offer that I'm doing just for this challenge. And if you have any questions, let me know. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, um, YouTube now, woohoo, all that good stuff. I'm always around. And like I said, I'm always here for you. I'm right behind this monitor, and I'm going to go get some supper. So I'm here if you need me. Thanks again. Bye-bye.